This is a quick comparison between the Note 4 and the FiiO X5. Going by interface, usability, sound quality, future-proof, and battery life. Interface-wise, I actually designed this theme myself. I made 4 total that I was able to access the upper levels of the firmware this easily. Is testament to the product. And to be honest, I really thought that this was an awesome screen. But it's still, this is the size of the X5 V2, which is supposed to be this screen without the black borders. So if you put this piece of paper, it goes about to the very edges there. So it's not the border part, it's the glass. So this would be the X5 glass in comparison to this one. And this is extremely on the interface. I don't think that anybody would really question the ease of which that smart devices navigate, and how much time you can save. If I want to find something, it would take no time. I want to play Robert Palmer, Sneak Inside Through the Alley, and I'm done. And that took seconds. It's not as easy to navigate with a device like this. So when it comes to navigation and the interface, I'd give it to this without question, absolutely without question. This is not the straw man. This would be any device that's not a massive smartphone. You can't compete on that one. Just for note, the X7, according to that's the usable screen area of an X7, which would be the same, I believe, as a iPhone 6, which this is right here. So the next offering from that company will still be not enough to move me, for reasons that's coming up next. Sound quality, there's no way that this would compete with that as it is, and I knew that going in. However, what I wanted to do initially, like I said, was I wanted to level up with this thing. I wanted to get a substantial, it's like 3 or 4 X5 screens could play in the sandbox that is the Note 4. It's that ridiculous. So the interface is that's clearly the strong point. The audio is the thing, and this is what this is. This is a music player. This costs $800. It's a developer edition. It's SIM free. There is no phone yet. This is not even a phone yet. I still have an iPhone. So to get this to play on a field remotely, like something like this, you got to get a DAC that's outside of the device, because the one inside this is not good enough. The power that comes out of that, I think it's 0.04 volt or something like that. It's ridiculously poor. Comparing the sound of a smart device, people say, what's the best sounding phone? Man, I'm not even into that conversation, because there are no phones, including HTC 8s or whatever people call the best ones. You're not going to get enough power through stuff like Rsonics 2.5 or any other number of things to be able to get high sound quality. So it's almost pointless to me. I'm not a part of that argument or group at all. I'm comparing these two with another device. So directly, these things can't compare on an audio stage. But if you were to get an external device like this that I already reviewed, and then, so I've got 2 paths right now. I can, number one, I can go through something like this, which is Viper for Android, which is a masterful piece of code writing. This is absolutely outstanding. This is like compressors and filters and sliders mixed in. It's absolutely the reason that Viper for Android made me spend $800 to get this phone, and I wanted to get the biggest screen, so I ended up doing this. But it all started with V4A, so I gotta thank Kill, I think is the username. I'm using Viper Clarity on XFi mode, XI-Fi. The clarity is on default. I'm on at 15.6 bass boost, which is huge. It only goes to 17. I'm using the middle level bass adjustment, which is pure bass. Subwoofer is just way too much. This is absolutely an amazing piece of code writing. That guy should be legendary. I believe he is on the internet. The front end GUI would be Power Amp. So if I'm playing something, I want to get some. Go with Led Zeppelin. Playing these together, this would not compete with a FiiO. However, if I put this inside here, now this that's turned off, but it's still playing. This has taken over as it's passing through the signal now, and it's coming through here. And I can tweak this, and I can save the profiles that I use. So for example, if I'm in Viper, I got a bunch of stuff going on, I can save an effect profile, like as many as I want as far as I know. New effects profile, few tweaks, bass 14, best bass, 60 hertz pack, Astel, best Arsonic bass. I just on and on. I couldn't do that with this. So this has, you need to be rooted so that you can have kernel, so that V4A can have kernel level access, and then you can just go crazy. It's absolutely outstanding. However, there is another thing. Stop that. I'm done. And I'm out of there. There is another thing here now, and it's called Hibi Music. And now it's asking for permission to use the USB because it's not doing it in the same way. Now hold on now, buddy. Hold on now, buddy. Okay, now I give it permission. And now I open Hibi Music. And now I'm playing a FLAC file in very high quality through it sounds outstanding. Now this is not doing the same as the Viper for Android, where the Viper for Android is using the processor to process, then it's passing it out to your external DAC. This is actually not this is now a host, a storage device with a great screen that's passing through the audio unmolested, and it sounds stunning. My EQ is not enabled. That's enabled. That's not. I don't use EQ on this. I use this for high-res files only. And the interface is absolutely gorgeous. And again, the X5 would be that big. The entire X5, including the top bar and the scroll bar and all of this stuff. All of my months of tweaking, 2 months actually of my life on this, and it ended up being this much area. So, you know, interface is all Note 4. Usability and portability. This is thinner. Although it's much larger, it's actually lighter. This is a very heavy device. Future-proof is something to consider. This I had for 4 or 5 months, and it's already got a second version out, which makes this isn't even on the front page of FiiO anymore. And when the X7 comes out, which again is going to be still smaller than this device, if the specs are correct, it's going to be Android based, and it'll still be smaller. So it was something I was holding off for, but I just decided to do this because I can switch this to a different DAC. I can switch it to a Canon amp, which, by the way, this never lived by itself. It either lived with a E12, which doesn't even have power anymore because I don't use it. This was the original stack. I don't want to stack anymore, I guess, is what this comes down to. This is extremely heavy, and I don't need it. This is strictly an IEM solution, this one. For these versus this, even with the amp, this is a superior setup. This Astel and Kern and this Note 4 are superior. It's not even close, to be honest with you. I can do so many different things with genre, and I can save all of the profiles, and it doesn't matter if it's DSP effects or not. I'm not mastering stuff. I'm listening to it back, and I can listen to whatever I want. This has 10 band graphic EQ and a low and high gain, and this right now has no EQ, no effects, and is being passed directly to the Astel and Kern, and it's coming out as close to the ways it was mastered as my ear can pick up. It sounds great. It sounds better than it ever did on this device. But this is with IEMs. So, that was future-proof. So, interface, this is, there you go. Usability, this is just so much easier. I can get out of here pretty much by just going into another area and then getting out, and I'm done. Or I can go back in. I can do these things very, 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 very quickly if I want to. I don't need to waste time doing stuff. It's very easy. So usability is easier. Sound quality, this is where a lot of people would assume that this would be better. It's actually not, to my ears, so as long as you're using an external DAC. You can use Viper for Android if you're rooted, and you can go nuts in that route, or you can use something like Hibby and pass something straight out to a decent quality or high quality external DAC and get really great sound out of your Android. This is already not obsolete, but it's already got a brother that came out, and it's the newest thing. It's a version 2. This had a KitKat, and then they released another firmware called Lollipop, which has still got some bugs in it, and then they're going to come out with a Note 5, but it's going to be built on the same foundation, and I'll be able to update that too. So I can't mix the firmware from the new X5 to this X5. However, when the Note 5 comes out, that operating system that it works will be able to be, I can update this one too. A person with a Note 3 can still use whatever came with the Note 4 if they update their operating system. So I like the ability that I can keep this for more than a year if I want to and not feel like I got stuck like I did with this. Battery life, I couldn't say honestly. This has lots of other things going on at the same time, so this seems to work for about 7 hours roughly, and this I don't know. That would be a wash that somebody else could comment on better. If I don't use things, I charge it. I don't recall ever running out of a battery except once when I was heavy testing in a Japanese headphone shop with this, which I would still use this for because it's a power pack. And again, this is IEM we're talking about. There is no comparison if I did over ears. I could pair the Canon with this, and it would be a brute, but then I'm getting into a lack of portability, which is, I'm not putting bands on my screen. When I see somebody with bands going across the screen, I'm thinking, what? You're not going to be able to do this, or you're going to have to do it in here only and do this stuff while you got two bands going across. I'm going to figure out another way, but the reason that I bought this one was it's so small, and I can Velcro it if I want, or I can have this in my pocket and I can do the controls. There we go. That took it. I can change track. Now I could do this out my pocket. I have to pull this device out completely and get up in the screen and to look at it. There's no like reaching in and touching stuff with my fingers. It doesn't work that way. So as an IEM solution, if you have a good external DAC and something that I don't recommend anybody stack a phone. I simply don't get it. I in the future might be looking for something that's more powerful than this, that's got a lower profile than the Cayenne but still has power similar to it, because I would like to use my over ears with this. But as of right now, it's an IEM solution, but it's superior to anything I've ever had, including this, and it's really not even close. When you consider the price, these IEMs cost $800. The phone costs $800. Again, I own it. And this costs $2, so that's $2,000 worth of stuff. This thing costs $350. It's worth every penny. I said that in the video. That's got like 10,000 hits now. I don't walk away from that, but comparing the two, I think a lot of people assume, oh, you know, a dedicated DAP is superior to a smart device. You better not make assumptions. That's not always a good thing to do. I'm quite the believer, and I own both of these things right now. So your mileage really may vary, because what people like is music is clearly different, but I'm a huge fan. So, you know, explore, enjoy.